Lubin. I'm here in my studio at Equilter.com, and I've just gotten back from 2 trips in a row that were so incredibly inspiring. I have seen colors that have just got my creative juices running like crazy, and I thought I'd like to share some of that with you. Last week I was at a color conference in Seattle, Washington, and a couple weeks before that I was in Italy. And so today I'm going to start with my trip to Seattle and show you some ideas with this Pastel Batik packet, and then on the next video we'll go to Italy. This is one of my favorite products, not just because everybody loves pastel batiks, but because I love to work with pastel batiks, especially in the springtime. And I want to take this packet apart and show you some of the possibilities of working with it within a particular color theme. So on my recent trip to Seattle, I was on a boat. I went out in the bay, I went through the locks, I went up on the hills and looked at the beautiful flowering trees, and I was down on the beach and looking at the wharf, the fisherman's wharf, and the seashells and the crabs and the lobsters and the fish. And I came away with this sense of color. Beautiful, misty, sort of early springtime color with the lilacs and the pinks reflecting off the water and the creams and the golds and more peaches and pinks in the flowers, and all the colors of the water and the reflections and the greens of the trees. And so I pulled together some of these fabrics just to show that idea or that feeling of being in Seattle Bay. So as I go through this packet of pastel batiks, you can see all the beautiful colors here, I'm starting to think about what would capture that feeling of Seattle Bay if I were to make a quilt. And so these are some of the ideas that I'm going to pull out of this packet. Now see the soft misty aqua, the kind of gray tones that remind me of the fog and the mist in the morning, some of the flowers that are up on the hill, the sunshine coming through the clouds in the morning at dawn, the color of the sand, and you can begin to see that a whole color theme could come together from one packet, one collection of batiks. So I'm looking at some of these beautiful dark grays that are very popular right now, and I have been very attracted to combining some of these pastel colors with dark charcoal grays because the colors really pop. A pastel color that normally might seem a little washed out or too subtle, on a very dark and rich charcoal background, the color will become very exquisite and almost jump out at you. I wanted to show you an example of combining different colors of hand dyes and batiks, and in this case with a black sateen and some beautiful hand-dyed or modeled flannels. And so there's a combination not only of color but texture as well, of the shiny sateen and the textured flannel. So now I'd like to show you how these colors look when you lay them out on a dark gray background. Now I have a few other fabrics here that just show possibilities for color, and over here I have my beautiful Seattle or Pacific Northwest trees and water and the gray misty fog and some of the light coming through the twilight skies. But let's look at how these colors really pop on that dark background. And then I start laying out colors kind of randomly, but really I'm laying them out in a way that they will balance each other. So now I'm going to go through some of the other colors that are in this packet and just see which ones will go with this feeling that I'm trying to evoke here. This, I don't know, the peach and purple is not really grabbing me right now. But this, I think, really evokes that misty quality. This reminds me of the sun peeking through the clouds. This, I think, is too subtle for this particular one. Here's another idea for combining color if you're not a gray person, or perhaps you're giving a gift to someone who has a blue house. You can also consider combining these colors with a dark, very deep ocean blue, kind of a cool grayish blue. This is a hand dye that I picked out. I don't feel like these colors go quite as well, but these cooler tones would go very nicely on this deep, cool grayish blue background.